Okay, President Trump has raised the question, is he the second coming of God? I'm Scoot. This is the Daily Hit on the SGA Scoot on the Air YouTube channel and the scootontheair.com website. Also place this on the Scoot on the Air Facebook page. Is Trump the second coming of God? Apparently, he thinks that he is because he retweeted a tweet from a conservative right-wing talk show host who proclaims to be a warrior conservative. Now, here's what President Trump said. He thanks this radio host, whose name is Wayne Allen Root. Thank you to Wayne Allen Root for the very nice words. Then the president retweets this from Root. President Trump is the greatest president for the Jews and, let's see, I'm trying to make this out, for the Jews, and for Israel in the history of the world, not just America. He is the best president for Israel in the history of the world. And Jewish people in Israel love him, like he's the king of Israel. They love him like he's the second coming of God. Really. But American Jews don't know him or like him. They don't even know what they're doing or saying anymore. It makes no sense. But that's okay if he keeps doing what he's doing. He is good for all Jews, blacks, gays, and everyone. But unfortunately, but importantly, he's good for everyone in America who wants a job. And then the president adds, wow, at the end of that. So, retweeting something gives you ownership of what you have retweeted. Look, this should be a tipping point. And what is really interesting is, there were so many people who thought President Obama was the Antichrist. Look, man, I'm a radio talk show host. I heard that. I heard that all the time. He's the Antichrist. And I argued that he's not the Antichrist. If anybody had suggested that Barack Obama is the second coming of God, and if Barack Obama had repeated those words as to endorse them, he would have been crucified. And yet, many of the evangelicals who support Trump will look the other way. Or they'll get mad at somebody like me for even talking about it. You see, because here's what happens. A lot of people who can't defend Trump when it comes to some things like this. By the way, he's not the second coming of Christ. Well, I guess he could be, because I guess we really don't know. But I have no reason to believe that he's the second coming of God. And I think that's really blasphemous to make that comparison. But there are those who are going to look the other way, and they'll blame me as the messenger. Well, you shouldn't even be talking about that. You should be talking about something else, as opposed to saying, well, Trump is wrong and he shouldn't have said that. But instead of saying that, they will attack the messenger, and they will attack the liberal media for even reporting this. This is just a microcosm of the concern that many have for this administration. When ego becomes so big, and man, Bill Clinton had a huge ego. When ego becomes so big and powerful, one loses rational judgment. And so that's what concerns me more than the things that he's saying. The fact that this could be an indication that President Trump is allowing his ego to distort his rational view of life and the world. And that should be concerning to all of us, because we want the President of the United States to be a person who is looking after us, not looking after himself. And then the idea that he wants to buy Greenland, and Greenland is basically owned by Denmark. He's got a trip planned to Denmark. Denmark says, it's not for sale, Mr. President. We're not going to let you buy it. And then he cancels the trip to Denmark. WTF? I mean, seriously, really? And then the president said that any Jews that do not support him are disloyal and ignorant. That's a pretty broad statement. Could it be that President Trump is feeling the pressure of the economy and the creeping into the conversation, the R word, the possibility of recession? I mean, we might have a recession. The economy is cyclical. It goes up, it goes down. We've had a long time of a boom. I hope it continues forever, but it might not. And it won't be President Trump's fault. But when you foolishly take full credit for the economy, then when the economy drops, you have to take the blame. There's no way around it. So it's going to be interesting to see how all of this transpires. But, let's set the record straight here. President Trump shows no signs of actually being the second coming of God. This is the Scoot on the Air website, scootontheair.com. Today is the Daily Hit, and this is Scoot on the Air YouTube. And if you haven't become one of our subscribers, it's free. Just subscribe, and we'll give you an alert every time we do something. You may agree or disagree, but we've got a daily take on the news stories from a perspective that you don't always hear in the media. And I'm a radio talk show host who is not a truly conservative talk show host. I'm conservative on many issues. I'm liberal on many issues. I am a registered independent. I'm a maverick moderate. I have opinions. I have strong, strong conviction, but I just refuse to be defined by calling myself a Republican or a Democrat. I know that makes some people uncomfortable, but there are more of us than there are of them. And included within the mentality of maverick moderates are those Republicans and Democrats who are moderate. And remember, we're the ones who decide elections. But unless you've got some information that I don't have, Trump ain't the second coming of God.